Welcome to a new world of entertainment. The Ultimate Film and Television Podcast. Featuring Mike Winkler, Alistair Englehart, Daniel English, Jeremy Larson, and Jason Kabasic. Created by friends. All film lovers. We feature in-depth discussions and celebrity interviews. This podcast is available on all major platforms. Welcome to the Lights, Camera, Action Entertainment Reviews Podcast. On this episode, the worst movies, the biggest disappointments, the sins of cinema. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Lights, Camera, Action Entertainment Reviews Podcast. Special episode for you all tonight as we bring you some of the worst movies, biggest disappointments, and basically the sins of cinema. I am here with Jason Kabasic and Jeremy Larson. How you doing, guys?
Doing pretty good. How about yourself, Mike?
All right. Well, I thought this was an interesting episode to do because everybody, I think, always wonders whose worst movies and which ones do they find disappointing. Everybody's different.
This is kind of an interesting conversation, too. Like, this came up out of nowhere, and it was just, a couple weeks ago, we decided, hey, let's go ahead and put a list together of all the worst movies that we think in different categories.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought it would be kind of nice to do something like this because everybody's opinion of this is vastly different usually. So,
yes. And just wait until we get to next one we're going to do after this. I would assume probably going to be the best of.
That one's going to be very interesting because I think we all have similarities on those.
Probably.
Yeah.
Except for Mike,
at least in a couple categories.
I think Mike is being the connoisseur of film. He's got all this French stuff that only the Academy Awards know, right?
No way. I cannot stomach a lot of those foreign films, and that's why I would not be classified a film snub, because I cannot stand when the Oscars nominate that crap because I never see that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I do watch those films after seeing the Oscars nominate them and everything. Some of them are actually really good.
I'm sure there's the occasional one that might be better than I give it credit for, but I don't know if I'm always willing to take the dive.
You got to be willing to have that open mindset, I guess.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But on the first category to do list will be recent disappointments.
So, who wants to start this one off?
I'll start it off.
All right.
I was extremely disappointed with Wonder Woman 1984.
Yeah,
and that was this last month. Like I was like, I felt like the movie was building up towards something better, and instead it was just a guy who has the powers of a rock. And then the truth lasso will set you free sort of deal at the end.
Yeah, I have to kind of agree with that because there were a lot of story elements that just didn't work.
I think the writers kind of forgot like halfway into the climax about what they were doing and what it was actually going to be because it was just all chaos. Nothing really made sense by the end of the movie.
I mean, I will agree that was a big disappointment. That's not what I had as my biggest disappointment recently.
Okay.
Mine was a little bit surprising, at least to Mike's. I don't know what you're going to think, Jeremy. I was majorly disappointed by Alita Battle Angel.
See, I actually have that one on my watch list to at least check out.
Yeah,
I went into that movie with a lot higher expectations than I should have, and it did not live up to any of those expectations whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
The entire movie to me felt like it fell flat.
Yeah.
Like I told Jason earlier, is that I went into that movie not expecting a lot because I didn't know the history of Alita very much. So I went in just thinking, okay, I don't know the story. I'm just going to accept it for whatever it is. Yeah. And I actually kind of liked it because I don't know the background. So it's kind of based upon he doesn't like it because he knows the history, and I can understand that because I've seen things that I know the reference material, and it's understandable.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I actually have two that really stood out in the last couple years. Recently was Terminator Dark Fate, and then Brad Pitt and Ad Astra.
See, I find that really disappointing. I thought Terminator Dark Fate was really good and kind of a new way that they brought up the universe of Terminator.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just me as a writer. I like it when they throw a wrench in the whole workings of things.
Yeah, it's not so much I disliked the movie. I didn't like how they killed off John Connor right at the beginning.
I thought it was a bold move.
It was bold.
That was a huge bold move on their part, and I think that was what made it so disappointing to me.
Yeah. I mean, I
would have liked a little bit more, at least out of John Connor throughout the film, other than just being killed off at the beginning of it.
I think I would have liked it to have been a little bit more of a meaningful death. It just kind of happened.
Well, okay. Here's how I look at every single Terminator movie to back up my claim that it's actually pretty decent. Every single Terminator movie that happens changed the timeline in some way, right?
Mm-hmm. True.
That's why John Connor never looks the same in any of the movies that he's in. And then it changes the same for Sarah Connor and for Kyle Reese. Everything changes because there are those changes being made in the movie. And I think that going up to Genesis right beforehand was when it was just like the final straw. You'd be like, you know what? No, we're just going to send a guy out. We're going to kill him right there. And it made so much sense to me seeing that after the fact. I'm going, no, this is exactly what they wanted. And it's not going to change things because then there's just going to be another savior complex coming right after that. And it was refreshing to see a woman step into that role too, as the savior of humanity.
I did like that. There were some elements that I thought were really good and were very reminiscent of T2 that were done well. And that was the James Cameron touch, them coming back as producing. That was huge. I was one of the ones that actually liked Terminator Genesis. I don't consider that to be as bad as what people made it out to be. I thought, I mean, yeah, Emilia Clarke, Sarah Connor was kind of weak. Don't get me wrong.
Kind of.
All right, I'll say it was very weak.
Well, she did have a Terminator bodyguard for a little bit, so yes,
right.
I would consider that a little bit weak.
And considering that we're comparing her to Linda Hamilton v. Sarah Connor,
it is tough to fill those shoes of Linda Hamilton because she played that part perfectly. And to see her come back for Dark Fate, that is what made me want to watch that movie even more. That was the highlight of that movie, was her coming back.
I do have to admit, though, Lena Headey played Sarah Connor in the Sarah Connor Chronicles. She didn't do a half bad job.
I think I've saw 2 episodes of the Sarah Connor. Oh my gosh, can't even talk tonight. I saw 2 of the Chronicles, and then I couldn't watch it again because I think my parents didn't have the right access to it. But I enjoyed it for what it was. It was a shame that it got canned so early. Yeah,
it definitely got cut way too short, and that has to do with the fact that I think that sci-fi shows on network television just don't seem to last. They're only cut out for cable television, it seems like.
It depends on your target audience, because Terminator is very specific.
Yeah.
Whereas you look at science fiction fantasy like the Arrowverse, and that has gotten a huge following, lots of seasons in the running. You look at what was another one that kind of felt short to me. Continuum. I don't know if you guys seen that one. That one,
I've heard of
it was decent, and then they ended it super fast, and I was disappointed with it.
So you want something that disappointed me for going into that retrospect, Jeremy? Flash Forward.
Oh yeah, was that on one season or two?
That was one season, and that made me so mad because I personally really loved that show.
That's what I mean, and that was on ABC. Another
and
network
that was on Network's channel.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good sci-fi style show, and I thought it was absolutely brilliant.
Just goes to show, shows getting canceled is not because of quality of show. It's just people are either not watching or the network standards are just far too high.
Mm-hmm. Like I thought, another TV show that I felt was canceled too early was the Limitless TV show. I thought that had incredible potential, and then I think just nobody was watching it.
Same with Firefly.
They incorporated Bradley Cooper very well into that show.
Yes, they did, and I wanted to see the rest of that. I kept wanting to get to that further climax, but too bad.
You're right, Jason, too, about Firefly. That was another show that deserved a hell of a lot longer of a run than it got.
Yeah, it did.
And now it's become a cult classic.
Yep, and I heard some rumors, too, about Fox possibly trying to get a revival in place.
Thank you. Let's hope that comes to light.
The thing is I think it's too late. I think it's too little too late.
Yeah, I think
you're right. It's going to come out, and we're all going to be – it's either going to be – there's going to be a huge budget for it, and they're going to completely blow it out of the water for themselves, but we're going to be taken back as in going, wait, this doesn't look like the Firefly we know. Or it's going to completely bomb because it doesn't have that same feel.
I think you're right.
I'm still going to give it a watch, though, if it does come to light.
Well, you let me know because I won't watch it.
The fact of the matter is, if they do it without Joss Whedon, it can't be done.
I feel almost obligated to watch it just because how much I love that series and the subsequent movie that came out. I feel like I owe it to myself to at least watch it once or twice just to get an idea of what they're going to do.
I will say Serenity did a fantastic job wrapping everything up, though.
Yeah.
Very satisfactory. But, okay, well, is there any disappointments? None? Okay.
Oh, disappointment. We've already discussed my disappointments in the recent, the recent timeline with Star Trek Beyond, but I'm going to get past that.
Fair enough. I actually wanted to say this for number 2 for overhyped, because Star Trek Beyond I thought was very overhyped and didn't live up to it. But I didn't write that because we weren't supposed to talk about stuff like that.
Yep. So. No. Most overhyped for me, Men in Black International.
Yeah. Men
in Black International was so overhyped.
Oh, real quick before we go on. Got a question from your mom here, Mike. Where's Dan and Alistair? They unfortunately just couldn't make it.
They're indisposed. They're fighting crime together.
Dan started feeling pretty sick, he was saying, and Alistair, we just said that he just couldn't make it for this episode, which is unfortunate, but hey, we're looking forward to getting them in for the best of.
I still
Batman and Robin are fighting crime,
but you know.
But okay, Dan, continue. Or Jeremy, I'm sorry, I'm calling you Dan. Look what I'm doing.
Wow. Okay.
All right, time to put Mike on timeout.
It's sad because this movie actually feels too different. Oh gosh, you actually kicked him out.
Go ahead.
But I honestly think that Men in Black International fills 2 categories of what we're talking about tonight, because it's super overhyped. While the chemistry of the movie was great, like they both came right off of Thor Ragnarok, and it just felt like it was Thor and Valkyrie in Men in Black, and I'm going, this doesn't feel like Men in Black. This just feels like you thrust 2 characters from the Marvel universe into this universe, and they're working together, but they sort of don't like each other.
They were just playing the hot hand, that's the biggest issue.
Yeah, but that's my deal.
Jason, you look like you had a gripe with that.
No, it's I'm honestly kind of surprised that at least one of you didn't agree with this one.
Okay.
Or say it, Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad was
That's
so
fair.
massively overhyped for the product that we got.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with that. I mean, it was very overhyped.
It's fair.
Mm-hmm.
Jared Leto was probably the worst Joker I have ever seen out of all the incarnations of the Joker so far. I was expecting a lot more out of this film for what we were going to be, for what the Suicide Squad actually stood for.
Mm-hmm.
And it fell so far on its face that it almost ended up going to my so bad that it's good category.
I just think that we didn't get enough of Jared Leto as the Joker. I think that's the problem with it.
Too.
They gave us a Joker and they didn't give us enough of him to truly understand the character. It wasn't enough depth to him. So I think that's a problem on the writer's fault as well.
It's actually interesting note that director David Ayer has actually said that he wants Warner Brothers to fund an Ayer cut like the Snyder cut, because I guess there is a lot more of Leto that was shot that the studio had cut out of the movie. And I think that might be where the biggest problem lies, because Ayer has said that there was a lot of stuff shot of Leto that just didn't make the movie, and he lost a lot of his depth of character, and the movie suffered for it.
Yeah.
So my overhyped actually is The Mummy. Tom Cruise is The Mummy, because it was supposed to be Universal's big, huge monster franchise startup, and the movie ended up being not good, fell flat at the box office, and basically the whole monster universe got canceled because of it.
Mike, I'm not gonna lie, Mike. When you said The Mummy right there, until you specified the Tom Cruise one, I was about to chastise you for everything. That you
I like the Brendan Fraser one. Don't worry about it. I like that one.
No, that was actually going to be didn't live up to the reputation of the movies. That because it didn't get it. It was just The Mummy, Mission Impossible, like basically.
I just felt like Tom Cruise just didn't fit the mold for The Mummy. He was the wrong guy to cast in a kind of movie like.
Yeah.
It just didn't work.
Yep.
Bad writing, average directing, and just not a very good story overall.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, well, next one didn't live up to the hype. Good, but not to be included in canon.
The sequel that didn't live up to the hype. Really, is what you're going on here?
Yes.
I had two of them for this list.
50 Shades Darker, right?
No, but interestingly enough, Mike, it is something in the Mummy universe. Scorpion King. I thought the Scorpion King didn't really live up to the hype.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from there.
And the other one I have is Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
There it is.
That's a good one. I forgot about that one.
That was a dumpster fire.
I'm glad that they're making one more to get rid of that, so that we can get a proper ending, because we deserve a proper ending.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I didn't even know they were supposed to be making one more. Where the hell are they going now to ruin this franchise?
They're going to start filming this year.
They got to bring Shia LaBeouf back.
No. No.
Alistair's not here. I got to be the chaotic.
The only character that I could see them bringing back fairly would be his now wife.
Yeah.
For Marion, because she's the only one to be made a case for. No, don't bring back his son. No. He was supposed to be the one carrying on the franchise, and I'm so glad that didn't happen.
Do it. Bring Shia LaBeouf back.
I want to see it.
Hashtag free Shia LaBeouf.
Justice for LaBeouf.
Oh God, no.
I want to do it just to see Mike's face when they make that announcement.
I know.
The anti-Shia podcast.
Like, if they announce that and they do say something about Shia LaBeouf is going to be recast in his role, I'm going to go out, spend the money, get everything I need. I'm going to iron on a sign that says "Free Shia" on here.
The only way they can include the character of Mutt Williams in Indiana Jones 5 is if he's recasted. That's it. Only way it works.
Mike, don't let your dreams be dreams.
I mean,
hey, if you can dream it, you can do it.
Just do it.
Wow. All right. So
okay.
All right. What was the sequel that didn't live up to the hype for you, Mike?
The third Mummy movie with Brendan Fraser, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor. I didn't mind the movie.
Yeah.
I thought it was decent entertainment, but as far as canon, it doesn't work for me because Rachel Weisz was recast with Maria Bello, and she tried to do her best Rachel Weisz impression, but it just didn't work.
No.
Yeah.
That was too funny. Sequel that didn't left. Yeah, that's what it is. I can't get past all the ones that we named now. I can't think of anything worse.
You mean you can't think of anything better for Mike?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
All right, so we got anything else we want to add on the sequel that didn't really live up to the hype at all?
I'm afraid if we do, we're going to be on that topic all night.
Yes, we are.
All right, so let's go ahead and move on to a terrible sequel to good movies. Go ahead and start off, Mike.
Okay, here's two. First of all, Dumb and Dumber 2.
Oh.
That just did not work.
See it. I looked at it and I went, "That's not the same movie."
Dumb and Dumberer, or are you talking about Dumb and Dumber with
Heck,
Harry?
You know what?
Floyd?
How about include both of them because they were both trash.
Fair enough. I think there's might be one or two moments that stand out in the other one.
Everyone gets one. Everyone gets one.
Yeah, but Dumb and Dumber 2 definitely didn't live up to the hype at all. Very disappointing, especially since they got everybody back. It just was a lackluster script. It just wasn't really that funny. And A Good Day to Die Hard.
I didn't think that one was too bad.
A Good Day to Die Hard.
The one where they're in Russia with his son.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
While I understand your point, I can't find too much wrong with the Die Hard movies. That one in particular is probably
the worst.
No, I actually don't like the second one. I don't like Die Harder.
Really?
I like Die Harder more than I like Die Hard with a Vengeance.
No.
It wasn't by much, but I did like Die Harder a little bit more.
Jason, why would you do that?
But here's the thing though, Mr. Sea Shanty.
Okay, it was going to be brought up at one point. Sure, let's bring it up now.
Well, there it is. There it is. Follow Jeremy on Condiment Games on TikTok to look into Sea Shanties.
But no, for me, I thought like the original Die Hard trilogy, I thought was just really good all around. It was just I personally went in the order that the movies came out in 1, 2, then 3, as which one was my favorite to least favorite of those three. But that's not to say my least favorite is a 7, whereas so in most retrospects, a 7's still pretty good.
Yeah. See, I like Live Free or Die Hard. I like the fact that was the first one to bring in old John McClane, and I thought they did it properly. I thought the story was still pretty good, and as I call Justin Long the Apple guy, because that's what he was before he was an actor.
That's right. He wasn't. He was the Apple commercial guy. Yeah,
and Timothy Olyphant from Justified plays the villain, and he always plays a good bad guy.
Oh yeah,
he really does.
So I think that's why Good Day to Die Hard just failed in comparison, because I liked Live Free or Die Hard a lot. And the problem with Good Day was that it was too short. It was only 90 minutes, which was too short for a Die Hard movie. And I just felt like the plot just wasn't as strong as it could have been.
And I can tell you right now, one of the movies that's going to be on my best of list is going to be Die Hard, only because best Christmas movie of all time.
Oh, Die Hard 1? Oh, Yeah. You want to get any argument here from that one?
Only Christmas movie that's worth watching 24/7. Not this A Christmas Story crap that TNT puts on every year.
gosh.
No.
Oh, you're gonna like one of my categories then with Christmas. You're gonna like that one.
Oh boy.
All right, but so I'll go on next for a terrible sequel to a good movie, and this is more so kind of surprising because not a lot of people like the movies to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
But Mortal Kombat Annihilation is what I have here for a terrible sequel to a good movie.
I could definitely agree with that.
I was a huge fan of the original one. That one falls under the cult classic for me.
Mm-hmm.
Just because of the actors involved, and mainly because of Shang Tsung. The guy, Carrie, I forgot what his last name is. Actor who played Shang Tsung in there was so good.
Mm-hmm.
And Christopher Lambert playing Raiden.
That was a good casting decision. Yeah.
Mortal Kombat Annihilation took everything that was good about the first movie and just kind of rammed it down the toilet, made sure it got stuck, and tried to plunger it down. And all you're left with is brown water now.
That's about right. I like that description. That fits it.
Got a good one there.
Yeah.
Well, actually, on the topic of Christmas movies, my bad sequel has to be after Home Alone 2. All the Home Alones that were after Lost in New York were garbage because they replaced the families, basically. They brought the characters back, but replaced all the actors.
You see, I never watched anything after the third one.
The third one I thought was crap.
Yeah.
I didn't mind the third one. I'm not going to say it was good, but I didn't mind it.
The third one was cartoony.
Yeah, the third one's the best of the garbage after too. That's for sure.
I look at that movie and I go, I appreciate the cartooniness of it.
Mm-hmm.
I could see the point with 3 being 3 at least is respectable compared to the 2 they made after it, which was just TV movie garbage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I guess I could see the point in that.
All right, so what did you say you had there, Jeremy, for that topic now?
For
the anything after Home Alone 2, you said?
Yeah.
Basically all those. All those were
3 and 4.
Yeah.
Was there a 5? I can't. There might have been.
If there was, I never saw it.
I never heard about it.
Yeah.
All right, so anything else anyone want to add into that category?
No, I think that one sums it up.
All right, so the next one we have on our list here is movies that we first hated, but now we love.
Mm-hmm. Who wants to start that one?
I'll start.
All right.
I have 2 of them on here because I couldn't decide which one it was that I really loved more after and got to appreciate more after watching it enough times.
Mm-hmm.
The first one I have on here is Logan.
You hated it on first watch, huh?
I hated Logan on first watch. I did not think it was that good.
Wow.
But I learned to appreciate the movie for what it was portraying and all that. And it really made me think like they actually did follow the Old Man Logan storyline in the comics pretty well. It gave me a newfound love for that movie. After watching it enough times, going back, rereading the storyline and all that in the comics, it gave me a newfound respect for what they did.
Okay.
Yeah, I can understand that.
That seems a bit better.
And the other one is The Hobbit.
The first one.
Yeah. I did not like The Hobbit at first when it came out.
The Hobbit's tough. The Hobbit is middle ground for me. I don't hate it, but I don't necessarily love it either.
If Dan were here, I don't know what he would think because he's the Lord of the Rings guy, and I don't know. I don't really know what his thoughts really are on The Hobbit in general because we really didn't talk about it much in the Lord of the Rings one. I'd be curious to know what he really thinks.
All right, so what about you, Jeremy?
I I originally, but this is a long time ago, so I don't even know if this really counts. But I did not like Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. When I first watched it, when I first watched it, I didn't like it because it didn't have as much of the action as the other two films. And I mean, I was a kid at the time, so I didn't really understand.
That makes
but
sense.
As I got more into, reading and writing, I learned to appreciate a lot more. And I also liked it because Sean Connery's in it.
That's one of the biggest things I like about the trilogy is that that ended up becoming my favorite one because of mainly of Sean Connery, because I just love the chemistry between him and Harrison. It just works so well, and it's a shame they couldn't bring Sean Connery out of retirement at the time for Crystal Skull, because I think that would have improved the movie greatly.
Oh yeah,
I think there would have been way too many characters though.
It might have been. We probably would have had to cut one out of Crystal Skull. They probably could have actually cut out the professor they were chasing down in Crystal Skull and replaced him with his father.
They could have. That could have worked.
All right. So what about you, Mike?
The first Anchorman with Will Ferrell.
Interesting. You actually like that movie now?
When I first saw it, I hated it. I thought it wasn't really funny. I guess I didn't really fall into what the movie was trying to accomplish, what it was trying to do. And I was willing to give it another watch after that again. And as I've watched it on repeat viewings, I think it holds up a lot better if you take it for what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember really hating that movie when it came out, and it just my opinion really changed.
I'm going to differ on that opinion, Mike. On the opposite, I never really enjoyed Anchorman. Then again, because a lot of this just goes through my dislike of Will Ferrell as an actor in general. Because anything he's done after being on Saturday Night Live for so many years, his movies all really follow the same kind of plot line.
That's true.
And it's like agree with that. Forcing himself to try and be funny, which kind of takes away from those movies actually being good.
Yeah. I think some of his movies land better than others.
Just always seems to be the same character.
Yeah, the only movie that I think differs for him is Elf. He was playing something a little bit.
Yeah, Elf was decent. Like in any other one, it just feels like he's playing the same exact character. Like even when he was on The Office, I think. A lot of people will agree that those are the least favorite episodes of The Office, are the ones with Will Ferrell in it.
Yeah, it's like he didn't bring anything new to the table. He just was, playing a character he's played for years.
When they did that announcement of who was going to be the new manager for a little bit, I was really hoping it was going to be Jim Carrey.
Oh God, yeah,
awesome. Yeah,
even just a few episodes would have been super awesome.
We got another comment from your mom here, Mike, and he always shows his body.
Oh, that's
brilliant!
That is so true. Every movie he does, even in Elf, he finds a way to show his body when he's in the little mini shower as an elf. I mean, he always. I don't know why he thinks people want to see that shit.
It's not me. I'm not that audience.
No,
I definitely am not either.
No. But yeah, I agree with that 100%. So,
all right. We have anything else to add, guys?
No. Next category.
Movies that we loved and grew to no longer appreciate.
I love to hate, or used to love not hate.
There's one specific movie that I had in mind when I first watched it where I thought it was really good, that I noticed a lot of inconsistencies in the writing, and the overall theme of the movie was Now You See Me Too. I thought it was incredibly poorly named as well, because they missed an opportunity to call it Now You Don't.
You're right.
Like, who goes to see a movie called Now You See Me Too? Like... It sounds like you're playing peekaboo with your audience. Like, I can't.
I see you too.
Oh, no.
Oh, what about you, Mike?
I really didn't have a really strong one, and I really fought with this, and I've been thinking about it as we've been doing this, and it's so hard for me to pinpoint something that I hate, that I used to love. I mean, if I've hated it, I pretty much have hated it all along.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know. It's hard. I don't think I really have one. I don't.
So for me, we're going yet again back to the Indiana Jones trail here. And we're going to the one that I now am ranking as the worst of the original trilogy because Kingdom of the Crystal Skull is just trash. We'll just go
We're not
out
gonna count
with
it.
that here. We're not going to count. That's not an Indiana Jones movie. But the movie I have here is Temple of Doom.
I was expecting you to say Raiders, to be honest.
No, I was a huge fan of Raiders. I've always loved Raiders of the Lost Ark.
See,
Now,
a lot of people bring up the Raiders argument because if you took Indiana Jones out of Raiders of the Lost Ark, it would still happen the exact same way.
That's true. He didn't really play a factor in any of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I still thought that movie was really good.
Yeah, it's still really good.
Temple of Doom just fell. I used to love watching that movie. Even up until a few years ago, I still loved watching that movie. And it was just recently that I watched it, and I was like, why did I like this movie for so long?
Doesn't hold up nearly as well.
No.
I always remember it for the scene of the beating heart.
I thought The Last Crusade was so much better.
I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember as a kid, I think Temple of Doom scarred me a little bit because all I could remember was that beating heart in the guy's hand. And I'm like, how the hell is this movie rated PG? At the time, it was PG before PG-13. I'm like, how? That was,
Because this is back in what, the early 80s?
Yeah, I think early to mid 80s.
There really wasn't much. I mean, Mike, back then PG still had nudity in it.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
that's a very good point. It did. And now on TV today, on medical shows, they show beating hearts and guts all the time. So it's not that much of a thing now.
Yeah,
but I could see back in the day where parents taking their kids to see that movie and seeing that, I could see where they would be a little upset.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah, but yeah, it's a good point.
All right, so do we have anything else to add onto this since Mike really doesn't have
I can't think of one
category?
I cannot think of one. I wish I could.
Oh, what about anyone that's watching right now? Any of you have anything to add?
It's very quiet tonight.
Yeah.
Very quiet.
Hey,
it's tough.
Right.
It's tough.
It's tough.
All right. So,
so next category is movies that were so bad they were good.
I got a few of these, so this will be a good category.
Oh, what did I put down? I feel I'm kind of the odd man out. Any video game movie adaptation, I feel, has gotten to the point where it's so incredibly bad where I enjoy the fact that it's bad.
No.
Okay, now I got to ask this question.
Yeah.
Which ones do you like more so than others? Which one do you consider to be
Which
better
ones
than?
stood out?
I thought Assassin's Creed was pretty awesome.
I think you're wrong.
I'm finding it very hard to say that it's good. Yeah, I'm with you, Jace, on this one. I think
that's okay. You know what? We don't have to agree on everything.
No, we don't. That's true. No.
And there's no kind of argument you could make that can convince me this time, Jeremy. I'm sorry.
No,
don't ever say that.
There isn't any argument he can make this time. I have not seen one good video game adaptation made into a movie that has actually been good. No, you don't even try and say Resident Evil.
No. Resident Evil is good entertainment, but it's not loyal to the games, but it's still good entertainment. But I will give you one that is loyal. The newest Tomb Raider was very loyal. Very loyal.
So I've got 2 movies listed in here as movies that were so bad they were good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Snakes on a Plane
Actually, that was one of the ones on my list. I got other ones, but yep, agreed.
and Guns Akimbo.
Guns Akimbo. I don't think I've ever seen that.
It's one of the newest movies Daniel Radcliffe did. Have you ever seen the memes of him in the street in the bath towel, the
I've
slippers
seen
with the
that,
guns
yeah.
out?
That's what it's from?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, I might have to give that a watch now. I didn't know that was...
That movie is so comically bad that I appreciated the hell out of the movie. I couldn't help but laugh every time I keep watching it.
Okay,
Go ahead.
Can I make one more argument for my video game one?
Sure.
The Hitman movies.
I like those. I do like those.
I thought that both of them were pretty good.
I did too, and I'm kind of upset.
I might give you the first one.
You don't like Agent 47?
No.
Agent 47, I thought was good. The thing that pisses me off is that the ending left on a cliffhanger that'll never get resolved. That's the thing that pissed me off about it.
Yeah. And that's okay.
But I like those movies,
you don't get them.
Yeah. All right. So, what was about you, Mike? What do you have in this category?
Okay. A couple that stood out. And this one's might go back to your guys' childhood. I actually think it's so bad it's good. Is the Power Rangers movie, the original one?
Oh yeah.
No.
Ivan Ooze, baby. Ivan Ooze.
I forgot all about that.
No, I'm not gonna join you on this one.
Were you a Power Rangers fan as a kid?
I was, and then quickly that dropped out of my range of things.
That's fair.
Into.
That's fair.
And afterwards, I looked back on. I watched it once since my childhood, and not one time could I get through 5 minutes of that cheesy crap.
That's why it's so bad. It's good.
I still go back to those shows every now and then, and just appreciate my childhood all over again watching them.
Yeah, I could see that. I got one more too. Face Off with Travolta and Nicolas Cage.
I thought that was a masterpiece of a film.
Yeah, I thought that was really good.
It is. I'll explain myself there. It is. But there are so many elements that are bad as far as some dialogue and some of the way things are staged. But it's so good because that is John Woo's style. And he brought that same style to Mission Impossible 2, which I don't think quite worked out as good as Face Off.
Okay.
But no, I don't mean that really in a bad way. I mean that exactly means so bad that it's actually really, really good. And it's actually one of my top 20 favorite movies, Face Off, actually. It's really good.
I love I mean, I wanted to know what pieces of dialogue you're referring to.
I mean, I can't really get too many examples off my top of my head right now, but listen to some of the things like Nicolas Cage does. Some of the lines are a little cringy, but they work because it fits the character.
The movie.
Right.
It fits the character, fits the movie. Even when the characters switch, even if it's weird dialogue, it fits the movie. And I think they play each other's character so incredibly well. I'm going to have to watch that again.
I have to give it a watch again, too. The thing of this is that, Nicolas Cage, and I have to honestly say, I think that's one of Nicolas Cage's best roles.
Mm-hmm.
And even Travolta's, too, because Travolta just plays the good and the bad so well.
Yes. Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, no, that movie is still really, really good. But I like the fact that it's got a little bit of that bad movie factor to it because that's actually what makes it work.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Good.
All right, so moving on here. Next category, guilty pleasure / displeasure. And we will start with you, Jeremy.
All right. I have 2 different guilty pleasures. I am a sucker for historical fiction, no matter how incredibly insane it sounds.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter is a masterpiece of historical fiction.
Oh, did not see that one coming.
I love that movie. One, because it borderlines historical accuracy. with just enough mystery surrounding it to where you're like, maybe.
You know what? To be fair,
okay.
I don't think I've sat through the entire movie, so I will give you that.
Oh,
I will give you that, and just for that, I will watch it within the next week, and I will get back to you on it. And
okay,
I might agree with you by the time I finish it.
Here's the thing: it's like a historical movie, and you mash it with the Van Helsing. You mash it with that movie.
Hugh Jackman's Van Helsing.
Yes.
I kind of like that movie too a little bit. So
that's the feel it gives me.
Okay, if it's got a Van Helsing flair to it, I'll probably like it then.
All right. So what's the other guilty pleasure that you have there, Jeremy?
This one I feel like I'm going to get a little bit more judgment for. I think that the Lego movies are fantastic.
They are. I agree.
Lego Part 1 and Batman. That's all I've seen right now. But
I could not get myself to sit through more than half an hour of any Lego movie.
That's too bad.
It is.
I feel
Lego
like
Batman's awesome.
Lego Batman is fantastic. I took a trip when that movie came out and it was on the in-flight list of things to play. I watched it to my destination and back from my destination. It was that good to me. And I am not ashamed.
Like I said, they're the ones that are guilty pleasures for a reason. So
true that.
And then we'll get to the guilty pleasure here, or displeasure, after we get through all of the guilty pleasures category here. What about you, Mike?
I got two. First of all, Lost in Space.
Ooh,
that is a guilty pleasure. I got a chance to watch it last week, and it still holds up for me. I like some of the cheese in it, and the thing of it is, people don't understand is that the reason why the movie's got some cheese is because the original series had some cheese. So they were just trying to duplicate a little bit of that by making it a little serious with the cheese. And I'm disappointed that movie never got a sequel because I think it deserved one.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And the other one is Small Soldiers.
Oh, yeah. Man. Oh, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one. Tommy Lee Jones played a fantastic antagonist in that film.
Yep. It's about to get a re-release on Blu-ray next month. I'm excited.
Oh, that's good. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Deserved it.
So,
indeed.
I also have two listed for this category.
Jason, before you say anything, please, we're a family show. Don't mention any adult websites before we Jason's not going to want to do this with me anymore. Can we cut that part out of the podcast?
All right, so as I was saying before Jeremy decided to bring that up, I have two listed for this one. First is Wild Wild West.
Oh, Will Smith and Kevin Kline. Yeah, that's okay. That's a decent movie. Yeah.
And then this second one is only because of how often it's played in this household because of my roommate's daughter.
Uh-huh.
And I've just grown to start listening to these songs so damn much.
Oh, no.
I've actually caught myself singing them so much.
Oh, God. I think it's going to be what I think it is.
Moana.
Okay, it's not what I thought it was, but okay.
No, Moana's a good one. If it was, I think everyone kind of gravitates towards that Frozen era. I think Moana is a better taste of music than Frozen is.
Moana is a definite guilty pleasure to me because I find myself singing You're Welcome at least once a day whenever I hear it on. Because I never would have expected Dwayne Johnson to be singing like that.
He has a great voice.
He does, surprisingly.
That was a very surprising part of that movie.
Yeah. I thought for sure you were going to say Frozen, and I was waiting for you to say Frozen. But no, I think you're right, Jeremy. Moana's got it's got a certain charm, something that like Frozen doesn't have. It's just something about it that's just you gravitate towards liking it.
The problem is that Frozen has the better character development than Moana does.
That's true. I won't disagree there.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. There's just nothing good about Frozen, in my opinion.
Fair enough.
All right, so guilty displeasure.
I love hating on movies, especially dance films. except for Footloose. Like Footloose is the one exception I have, but any film that focuses its entire plot and theme in dance, I can't stand it. I can't watch those films because they don't resonate with me. I think they're garbage films.
Like, like Step Up and all that other
Step Up,
shit.
yeah.
Yeah. Agreed. And they've made far too many of those movies. God knows why.
What about you, Mike?
This one might come as a surprise. Maybe you guys will agree with me. I don't know. But A Christmas Story.
You're just saying that because we brought that up earlier.
No, that's why I said you're going to find it interesting, because I don't know. To me, everybody always says how much they love it, and it's like the movie's boring.
The movie is extremely dry. Like it's just above.
It must be Italian.
And that's the thing, is that the family doesn't feel well. It's you're watching a regular family at Christmas. Like that's exactly what you're watching. Mm-hmm. It's got the same level of dryness as the motion picture of Star Trek. Like,
oh God,
I can't disagree with you there.
No. I spent so many Christmases watching that movie on repeat. I'm numb to that movie.
That's what's become for me too. There's so many things anymore where it's like everybody says, "Oh, look at Christmas Stories on for Christmas time." I'm like,
okay,
I'd rather watch Die Hard.
You know what I'm gonna do during Christmas? You know what I'm gonna do during Christmas? I'm gonna be watching football or basketball.
Agreed. I could agree with that, or watch Die Hard.
Exactly.
Fair enough.
So, a guilty displeasure that what I have on here is Rush Hour.
What?
I have secretly enjoyed hating on this movie for so long.
God.
No, you know what? I'm going to come to Jason's defense on this one. I think I'm actually going to put that in the category of movies that I used to love, but now I don't like.
What?
Because they don't. I think it's a matter of not aging well as films. I love Jackie Chan. I do. I love Jackie Chan.
Look at Mike. It looks like we just shot his dog or something.
You know what? I want to add that to my guilty pleasure list, because all three of those movies I can watch a lot, and you guys just shit on me. You shit on me.
Sorry about that, Mike. Nothing I can do about it.
That goes back to the adult websites that we don't want to bring up, Mike.
Is there anyone you want to bring up right now?
No.
Oh, so Mike's another one of Mike's guilty pleasure movies. It's got to be what's that? The movie about that America Squad or something like that, where it's the marionettes.
Oh no!
What the hell is that?
You remember that movie, Jason?
I remember.
What the hell are you talking about?
Hold on, it's got that theme song. It's called like America. Fuck yeah!
Fuck yeah!
Team America, World Police.
Oh my God!
That's a guilty pleasure movie for Mike.
You know what? Can I add that to? No, I can't add to a movie I used to love then hate. I think it's a movie I just hate. Okay. That might go in as a honorable mention for worst of all time. That might go down on that. No.
All right, so moving on here before we rag on Mike anymore about his love for Team America.
I wish I could say I do.
Movie that was good until the end of it.
Ooh, this is easy.
Let's hear from you, Mike.
Okay, I'm going to ask if you guys have ever seen this first. Have you guys ever seen the movie Life with Jake Gyllenhaal, Ryan Reynolds? It's a sci-fi movie. It came out about 2 or 3 years ago.
Oh, I was gonna watch that. Like, I felt like I wanted to watch that. It was that life form that was that little life form that was like crunching everybody up with it. Oh, that's disappointing.
I've seen it, and I can agree with you on that.
Jeremy, do you want to be spoiled? Because I could do it right now.
Well, if it's not worth it to you guys, then I feel like it's not going to be worth it to me, because we kind of have similar tastes in movies.
All right. For anybody that hasn't seen it, close your ears now. This is all for Jeremy.
Spoiler warning.
Yeah. Spoiler alert.
Okay. So, at the end of the movie, Jake Gyllenhaal and Rebecca Ferguson's character are the only two that are left. And they decide that Gyllenhaal's going to get in one of the pods to take it off into space while she goes back to Earth.
Okay.
So at the end of the movie, you see it go into Gyllenhaal's pod, and it looks like he succeeded, right? You see her pod go off, and all of a sudden their pods clash into each other, right?
Yeah.
And they're all rotating. They're rotating. But they're still showing her like she's crash landing on Earth. She made it, right? No, Gyllenhaal's crashes into the water. She is free floating in space, never to be found again. And in his pod, he's being taken over by the life form, and he's telling the guys in the Fisher boat to not open the doors. They do. That's how the movie ends.
That's too bad.
A sequel, it would have worked, but there was never a sequel to be made. So it's just a shit ending. But up to that point, the movie was really good. I was like, I like this. I'd buy this. Last 5 minutes, I'm like, fuck you, movie. I'm done.
For me, I put Hancock in this category.
I gotta remember the ending to Hancock.
Yeah, that was kind of a boring ending. I'll have to agree with you on that one.
Remind me how that ended again.
Well, it was Charlize Theron and Will Smith. They're all getting attacked in the hospital and everything, and she gets shot and has to get rushed into the emergency room, and she's dying. And the only way that he can save her is if he gets far, far away from her. So he just jumps out of the building and then just starts to fly. Like he flies to the moon or something to get away, and then she's able to live. Like
That's how it ended?
It ends with, them living on pretty much opposite ends of the world, but still communicating with each other because they were still like soulmates in a past life or whatever.
Why do I not remember that? Maybe there was a reason why I didn't remember that.
Like the whole tragic love aspect that they added into the film was done way too late in the film for it to really make sense or make it worthwhile. And the way, like you said, Jeremy, the way they ended that movie was just.
It was lackluster.
Yeah.
It wasn't a climax at all. It's not like they were fighting supervillains. They were fighting a couple guys with a hook and a gun.
I wonder if the intent was to make a sequel, and I wonder if that's why it ended that way. But I'm always the person where if you don't have a sequel guaranteed, don't do that with an ending, because all you do is piss off audiences and you ruin any replay value of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Period. If there's no intent, don't bother.
All right, so what about you, Mike?
I went.
You already
It's Jeremy's turn.
Oh, that is Jeremy's turn.
There's so many of these movies. It's hard to pinpoint one that disappointed me the most. No, you know what? Killing Gunther. That was kind of a boring movie at the end. Because they revealed Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I don't know why they do these docu-films where it seems like they're trying to get in all the action and everything, because you don't actually see Arnold Schwarzenegger until like the last half an hour of the film.
Yeah.
And then he comes out and it doesn't feel threatening because you haven't seen him do it. It looks like a stunt double the entire time.
So it ends up being a waste for him to even be there.
I wasted 2.5 hours of my life watching that film. I got more and more bored with it as it went on.
Oh, this is interesting. Yeah, she just made mention. The other one I don't like the end of is I Am Legend. That is a good point.
That was going to be the other one I was debating between was Hancock and I Am Legend, is for which one I thought was a really good movie, but the ending just fell flat.
Well, the thing that really angers me about I Am Legend is if you watch the Blu-ray, there is an alternate ending where you can watch the movie with the alternate ending. And at the end, he, instead of the blowing up all the creatures at the end, the zombies, he gives him the body back of the girl, and they walk away, and he survives, and he drives off with the girl looking for a cure. And it's like, what was wrong with that ending? It was better than the crap they gave you.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you.
So how does that movie Killing Gunther end? Like, what's like the ending climax?
It's sad because I saw this movie a month ago and I still couldn't tell you how it ends because it was just
shit.
It was shit. It was shit. They try and make it to be like a comedy assassin movie, which doesn't work usually. I think the only movie where that actually did work was the Kevin James film, Memoirs of an International Assassin. I thought that was pretty funny.
Oh yeah, that actually. Oh yeah, bad. That wasn't bad. That was done in a comedic way where it worked.
Yeah, where this one it was half documentary, half comedy, and why?
It's a bad mix. Would you do that? That's a very, very bad mix. I would not recommend that to anybody to make a movie like that. It just doesn't work.
No, it doesn't.
All right, so we've reached the category, the worst movie of all time, in your opinion. I better go last because mine's a good subject.
I will not be starting this.
Worst movie?
Yeah.
We're talking about a movie that I own that I classify as a movie that I probably won't watch again.
Mm-hmm.
Predators.
Is that the one with Adrian Brody where they're stuck in the jungle?
Yep. That was the worst. That was the worst Predator movie out of my opinion. Even after, the being in the city Predator, I thought that one was at least decent.
Yeah.
But they kept reusing stuff from the original Predator in Predators.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, why? Well, can you be a little original, please?
And they relegate Lawrence Fishburne to like a 20-minute extended cameo just to kill him off in some stupid ass way. So I can relate to that. That movie's not very memorable at all. And there's no end resolve. It starts basically the same way, or it ends basically the same way it starts.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, what did I just watch it for? There was no payoff. There was no resolve. I guess if there would have been a sequel, I don't know why there would have been. There was nothing left to tell of them being still stuck there. It's a wasted movie. You're right. I can agree with that.
So do you really want to go last on this subject, Mike?
I do.
All right. I'll just get it over with and rip the Band-Aid off. Battlefield Earth.
Well, I can clap my hands and say that was also mine, so we're mutual on this. Yep. Now go ahead and tell me why. Then we'll see if we line up on that one too.
The Church of Scientology is a complete crock. And this was probably easily the worst movie that John Travolta has ever done.
By far.
I cannot respect John Travolta as an actor because of this movie.
Well, I don't know if I go that far, but it definitely put him down a big-ass peg in my book.
Oh, no. What are you about to say?
Oh, no.
What did you just say?
I totally forgot about that movie.
Uh-oh. Did Jeremy maybe agreeing with that?
It's easy to forget about that movie because of how bad it is.
Mm-mm.
I'm not going to make an argument because it's not fair because I haven't seen it in a while. But from what I remember of it, it's pretty bad.
I can't believe John Travolta was even ever in this movie. The effects are bad. The story's bad.
He's one of the people that put up money for this movie because he wanted to get that. He wanted to get this movie out to the world. This was the next major sci-fi project. It was the next masterpiece. No, it wasn't. This movie was the biggest. I would much rather sit through a 24-hour session of Frozen than listen to this one more time.
Yeah. This movie's beyond bad, number one. Number two, I mean, all you gotta do is take a good long look at the source material, Ron L. Hubbard's source material, everything that came up with his religion in his mind that he says, aliens came from this and aliens came from that, and then he has this following, and then I don't know what audience he was trying to appeal to here. I guess maybe he was trying to convert everybody to Scientology with this movie.
Apparently the right group because he founded a religion off of it.
Well, that's good point. But this is why this movie really had no audience. I'd have to check what the box office numbers were. I can't imagine they amounted to much of anything other than people's curiosity.
Oh, give me a second, and I will take a look at that for you.
Creating the ultimate convincing argument, Jace.
29.7 million.
That's even far too much.
That's
the movie had a budget of 73 million. The box office numbers were 29.7.
Ooh. Oh my God. No wonder
That
John
was-
Travolta's career took a shit dive.
That was almost a $50 million deficit that they took from that movie.
By the time they did marketing costs too, it probably costed them a hell of a lot more. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that movie easily stood out as the worst. I didn't have to really even think about that. It was just like, yeah, that movie stuck with me for a long time, and nothing's come remotely close.
I think I might have locked that movie away just because I was just like, let's just forget we ever watched that movie.
For very good reason.
I tried to forget that I watched that movie, and then the subject of doing a worst of movies podcast came up, and then that door got opened back up. Oh,
Yeah,
here we
yeah,
go.
good
We got
points.
another comment here from your mom, Mike. Zoolander 2 and Vanilla Sky are her worst two.
Well, I can agree with Zoolander too. That could have gone on the category of sequels that were. I mean, Zoolander's not great by any means, but it's decent. But Zoolander 2 didn't even compare to.
Wait, you thought
Zoolander
Zoolander was good to begin with, or decent even to begin with?
Zoolander's funny in a goofy kind of way. It's not bad. There's some redeeming qualities from it, but Zoolander 2 is just garbage.
No, I wouldn't
Yeah.
want to watch that.
No, and Vanilla Sky I've never seen yet. I've told her that I have to see it to be fair.
Mhm.
So,
I'd have to watch it also to be fair about it, but I will take your word for it for now.
yeah, I'm gonna go into it with very low expectations. So I recommend that's probably the best.
I'm actually really kind of surprised, Mike, that me and you both agreed on the same exact movie for worst of all time.
Well, when you said it came from the year 2000, I was like, yep, it's gonna be the same movie. It's got to be. What other movie from the year 2000 compares to that shitstorm?
Yeah.
So yeah,
I think that was 21 years ago at this point.
and it needs to stay buried in the ground for eternity. Mm-mm.
Here you go, L. Ron Hubbard. Here's your glowing endorsement of that movie.
Yeah, the sad thing is when I was like, came out when I was about 11, I actually bought that movie on DVD before I had seen it. Oh my God, I don't think I've ever regretted a purchase more than that thing.
Mhm.
I don't even know where the hell it ended up. Probably in the trash. It had to have.
No.
No. But wow, yeah. So 2 in agreement with that, and it looks like Jeremy's almost borderline agreeing with us on that. So
No, I think I'll just I'll submit and agree with you guys on it. I don't want to go back and watch that film.
nope, never again. I want to forget it. Now that we did this podcast, I now can lock it away permanently in the vault.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Mhm.
Good.
Sounds good to me.
Let's never mention anything about that movie ever again.
No, but you know what will happen
And we'll
now?
be good.
Alistair will mention it in the next podcast just because. He will.
Oh,
And he'll say he loved it.
He'll call that his favorite movie of all time, and I'm just we're gonna have to boot him from the server, Mike.
I would officially boo anybody that said that. I'd boo him. But so now that concludes that, I know we've all had some different things on our list. I know we still have to do Mandalorian because Dan wants to do those as well. We're going to do a different structure with those. I know we all talked about The Matrix too about a couple months ago.
Yeah, I'd love to do the Matrix trilogy.
Especially with the new one coming out this year. That'll be a good thing to dive into because The Matrix definitely... Those are going to be long podcasts, and you have to do each movie on those because there's so much to dive into with those.
No.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna have to do that. All right, so do we have anything else we want to add, guys?
We're on TikTok now.
Nice.
I'll mention that. We're on TikTok now.
Yeah, we're on TikTok now. Hopefully, we'll be able to get some good videos out. Nothing in comparison to what our fellow Twitch streamer Condiment Games here is doing, but
No, but seriously, people should listen to those. Those are really good, Jeremy. I really enjoy those. They're really
I do too. I just got to give him flack just because of the fact, I don't think anyone was expecting sea shanties of all things to be written down.
No, and you know what? I think those should make a little bit of a comeback because they're just fun to listen to.
And see, I've actually been talking to people about this for like the past day and a half. I saw that it was in December when sea shanties came about, and it suddenly started growing traction early this month.
Mm-hmm.
And I kept seeing parodies of Star Wars. Everyone was doing Star Wars, and I'm like, okay, you're talking about Star Wars, but the original Navy of space is Star Trek. It's got to be Star Trek.
Star Trek's perfect for it.
And I couldn't find any, and I'm like, I'm diving into this full blown. I have to do it.
Yep,
There's
absolutely.
also one other thing I want to mention about a possible podcast we could do.
Okay.
Since we already got ideas, we're already planning on doing Mandalorian and Matrix.
Mm-hmm.
One that I really think we should do a podcast on is Game of Thrones.
Ooh. I think we'd have to do those by season.
Well, yeah, obviously by season, but
yeah,
I think we should do a podcast on that.
Yeah, I just got the series on 4K, so I was going to do a rewatch of those. So that would be, I mean, I'd be good with that because I'm due for a rewatch with them anyway.
I am too. I'm due for a rewatch of them.
I'm going to need a copy because I've never seen Game of Thrones.
Really?
I haven't seen one. I think I saw half of the first episode. And I never saw anything else than that.
I haven't seen the entire series yet. I think last time I watched was like season 3, going into 4. So my rewatch is going to be those plus watching the ones I haven't seen. I know how the show kind of ends already. I tried to stay spoiler free.
Oh, you never watched? You never watched the last season, Mike?
The last 4 seasons I never watched.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised about that. I figured you would have.
Well, if we do those, I'll have it watched by then because I need a refresher on those first 4 seasons because it's been a while. But yeah, you know what? Go to our TikTok and watch Jeremy do Cut Footloose. That would be a good video there for him to do. That'll probably garner some hits.
Footloose sea shanty?
Yeah, there you go. It's perfect.
If you go onto Amazon right now, Jeremy, I'm seeing the complete series on DVD for $91.99 right now.
I'm gonna have to think about that one. I have been asked to do sea shanties about Game of Thrones, but
those would be good.
With the fact that I've never seen them before, I don't know if I want to be watching and binging through the entirety of Game of Thrones to do that.
Good point.
I feel like I could do better doing sea shanties of like Lord of the Rings or even diving into Star Wars so people, have what they want.
Please the audiences.
The
audiences what they want.
All the audience is what they want.
It's all about you, audience. It's all about you. About giving you what you want. So that's what we'll all do.
I think that'll be a good good series to go over. So
yeah, for sure. But
on that note, I really don't have anything else to add for this one. So what about you guys?
I guess just let's get some more subscribers. We're doing well, but let's get some more subscribers. Unfortunately, this episode wasn't as thing as I was hoping, but that's okay. I mean, we're gonna have episodes that are gonna do that.
I think the reason it was being is because we had, almost half of our crew cut off.
True.
Right? Which is unfortunate, but life gets busy. Life gets complicated.
Yeah. Indeed.
We can't judge. We can't do anything about it.
No, but that's okay.
You can always get their opinions another day.
That's right. And, unfortunately, we didn't have an It's Sticky moment from Alistair Englehart in this episode. We've had him in a lot of them, but there's no moment tonight that I can really think of unless somebody wants to throw in their comment now.
See, I think the only way that you can truly lock that movie away, Mike, is if we do an episode of Battlefield Earth.
No.
Get
him back in here.
No.
Got him.
It's sticky.
And there's the It's Sticky. There it is. Alistair Englehart will be very proud.
Done. We're done. We got it.
We got it.
All right, so I guess just leave it on this note. Look forward to our upcoming podcast that we've got coming up here. We're going to be doing, obviously, a best of to follow up with this one. We've also got The Mandalorian that we're going to be going over, doing a retrospective of each season. Same with the Matrix trilogy. And then from what it sounded like we could possibly be looking at doing a retrospective of Game of Thrones as well, people. So again, just like Mike said, let's try our best to get some new subscribers out there. If you like what you're hearing, just follow us on any of the social media that we have up right now.
We're everywhere now.
We're up on all major platforms.
Hit that notification bell so you know whenever we go live.
Absolutely. Please do.
And also, I feel like we could possibly look at also, like, at this rate, Mike, if we can get any bigger than where we are right now, look at possibly setting up almost like a Patreon as well. Look into
that's a good idea, actually.
If we can get some income coming in for this, maybe we could put it into investing into almost like investing the money into obviously once COVID is up and taken care of, at least enough where we can all get together at some point.
I'm gonna say good luck with that one.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing with that one too.
But investing in renting out like an almost like an office space, I guess, where we could have like one of those conference rooms.
Jeremy will still be with us virtually, but that's okay.
But no, I'm talking about like we have that for any of the times like he can make like a trip down this way if he's able to.
That's all on Jeremy. I can't say nothing to that.
Like I said, I'm not saying obviously it has to be all the time, but for those occasions where we can get him down here for any sort of time in order to do something like that, would be nice to have everyone all together in like one room.
Jeremy, that'll be Kabasik's Christmas present. All right. Well, I think it's time for the catchphrase to get us out.
That's a wrap.